Hello and welcome back to the Outset Coffee official YouTube channel. The following content was created by Microsoft Copilot Artificial Intelligence. The following text is subject to being incorrect. If you are curious about this subject, please consider doing your own research. None of the following is medical advice. Now we hope that you will enjoy episode 3 of the Outset Podcast, Dawn's Hidden Science.
Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. Ever wonder why hitting that snooze button feels so irresistible? Today, we're diving into the fascinating science of waking up early, from why some people bounce out of bed at dawn while others struggle until noon, to the surprising truth about productivity and our internal clocks.
And you know what's really interesting? That morning grogginess isn't just about feeling tired, it actually has huge societal impacts.
Really? How so?
Well, according to research, morning sleepiness costs developed nations billions of dollars through lost productivity and work absences. It's even been linked to major disasters like the Exxon Valdez oil spill and the 3 Mile Island nuclear accident.
Wait, those disasters were caused by people being sleepy?
Yeah, they were actually traced back to errors made by sleep-deprived workers. It really shows how important understanding our sleep patterns is.
So what exactly happens in our brains when we wake up?
Recent research has shown something fascinating. When we wake up, there's actually a wave of activity that moves from the front to the back of our brain.
Like a wave? What do you mean?
Yeah, the first regions to wake up are in the front of the brain, areas responsible for executive function and decision-making. Then the activation spreads backward, ending with the visual areas.
That's so different from how I imagined it. I thought the whole brain just kind of switched on at once.
Actually, that's a common misconception. The wake-up process is much more organized than that. And here's something really interesting. It's not just the reverse of falling asleep.
Oh, how so?
While waking up follows this clear front-to-back wave pattern, falling asleep is more gradual and less linear. It's a completely different process.
You know, we often hear that successful people are early risers. Like Tim Cook and Anna Wintour, they're famous for their early morning routines.
That's true, but here's where it gets really interesting. Recent research is actually challenging that whole early bird gets the worm idea.
Really? How so?
A recent study from Imperial College London found that night owls, people who naturally stay up late and wake up later, actually showed superior cognitive function compared to early risers.
Wait, what? That goes against everything we've been told.
Exactly. It was a large study with about 26,000 participants. They found that people who identified as night owls or intermediate types performed better on cognitive tests than early birds.
So why do we push everyone to be early risers?
Well, it's largely because our society is structured around early start times. But according to neuroscientist Rachel Barr, a lot of our sleep preferences are actually wired into our genes.
So if you're a night owl, forcing yourself to wake up early might actually be counterproductive?
Exactly. If you have a night owl genetic profile, waking up at 5 a.m. might mean missing crucial REM sleep, which happens more in the early morning hours.
But what about people who do need to wake up early? Is there anything they can do to make it easier?
Actually, yes. There's some fascinating new research about the role of natural light in waking up.
Oh yeah, what did they find?
A study from Osaka Metropolitan University found that just 20 minutes of natural light exposure before waking up significantly improved morning alertness.
Just 20 minutes? That seems surprisingly short.
Right? And here's what's really interesting. They found that too much early light actually had adverse effects. It's all about finding the right balance.
How exactly does morning light affect us?
Morning sunlight is particularly rich in blue light wavelengths, which help regulate our internal clock. It triggers a whole cascade of hormonal changes.
What kind of hormonal changes?
Well, when that morning light hits your eyes, it signals your brain to reduce melatonin production, that's your sleep hormone. At the same time, it triggers the release of cortisol, which increases energy and focus.
But isn't cortisol the stress hormone? Is that good for us?
That's actually a common misconception. While cortisol is involved in stress response, it's also crucial for our natural daily rhythm. It should peak in the morning to help us wake up.
So what happens if we don't get that morning light?
Disrupting this natural light cycle can lead to hormonal imbalances that contribute to fatigue, mood disorders, and even metabolic issues.
That's pretty serious. What about people who work night shifts or live in places with limited morning light?
That's where understanding your individual chronotype becomes really important. Your chronotype is basically your body's natural preference for when to sleep and wake.
And that's genetic, right?
Partly. Research shows about 42% of your chronotype is determined by genetics. The rest is influenced by lifestyle and environmental factors.
So we can actually change our sleep patterns to some extent?
Yes, but it's important to work with your natural tendencies rather than against them. Fighting your chronotype too much can lead to what scientists call social jet lag.
Social jet lag? That's a new term for me.
It happens when your biological clock doesn't align with your social schedule. According to a University of Toronto study, this misalignment can significantly impact happiness levels.
So what's the solution? How do we balance our natural rhythms with social demands?
Recent research from UC Berkeley identified 3 key factors: sleep, exercise, and breakfast.
Can you break those down for us?
They found that substantial exercise the day before, sleeping longer and later into the morning, and eating a breakfast high in complex carbohydrates but low in sugar all contributed to better morning alertness.
And these factors all work independently?
Yes, each one has its own unique effect. You'll see improvements with any of these factors, and they can compound when combined.
That's really encouraging. It means we have multiple ways to improve our mornings.
Exactly. And here's something else interesting. They found these effects by studying twins, which helped them separate genetic factors from behavioral ones.
Oh, that's clever. What did they learn from that?
It showed that while genetics play a role, our morning alertness is largely influenced by behaviors we can control.
So what's the most important takeaway for our listeners?
I'd say the key message is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. The best morning routine is one that works with your natural chronotype while incorporating those 3 key elements: proper light exposure, strategic movement, and consistent wake times.
And it's okay if you're not naturally a morning person?
Absolutely. Remember that study showing night owls have superior cognitive function? The goal isn't to force yourself to be an early bird, it's to find your optimal rhythm.
That's really liberating, knowing there's not just one right way to wake up.
Exactly. The science shows us that understanding and working with our natural rhythms is far more important than forcing ourselves into some idealized morning routine.
Well, this has been incredibly enlightening. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Yes, pay attention to how you naturally feel throughout the day. Your body's trying to tell you something, and the latest science suggests we should listen.
Thank you for joining us on Copilot Podcasts. Remember, whether you're an early bird or a night owl, the key is finding your natural rhythm, and now you have the science to back it up.